Welcome to Huncoat Woodlands, comprising of Huncoat East and Huncoat West, which are situated either side of Altham Lane on the section between the M65 motorway and the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. Here is the entrance to Huncoat East Woodland. This footpath runs parallel to the M65 along the edge of the woodland. Along this woodland edge there are many hazel trees which have multiple stems due to the fact that they have been coppiced, which is the traditional craft of cutting the hazel tree down to the stump and then allowing it to regrow. You can see here in the middle a stump that has been cut and some trees that have the stems growing from them. The stems cut from coppicing were traditionally used for activities such as charcoal making, fencing, and to make items such as walking sticks. These days the coppice is cut to provide a shrub layer which is helpful for birds and mammals, providing food sources and also opportunities to shelter and nest. Here you can see one of the nest boxes that we put up in the woodlands. These are made from locally sourced timber, and on the floor you can see the cuttings from the coppicing we've done, which we've used to pile up as habitat piles. Here you can see a glade in the woodland. This one has been planted up with wildflowers to attract butterflies. In other areas of the woodlands we are cutting some trees down to create more glades, which we will plant with native flowers and shrubs to help improve the variety of wildlife. This is where the footpath reaches the end of the woodland. You can just see through the trees the Leeds and Liverpool Canal. As we enter into the woodland, you can see that as most of the trees are of the same age, there is very little undergrowth. Through coppicing the hazel and also clearing some of the trees and replanting with shrubs and wildflowers, this will improve the amount of undergrowth and the shrub layer in the woodland, which will in turn encourage more wildlife to the woodlands and improve the habitat diversity. Here you can see some habitat piles that have been made with the timber that's been cut from the trees that have already been felled. We are now returning through the glade that we saw earlier back onto the footpath, where we will turn right to return to Altham Lane. We are now back on Altham Lane with Huncoat East on the right hand side of the road and Huncoat West on the left hand side of the road. The entrance to Huncoat West is on the left, just past the trees that you can see. Here is the entrance to Huncoat West. The footpath leads over a stile into a small open meadow area before entering the woodland. There is a footbridge over the small stream as you enter into the woodland. To the right hand side, this area has had bird boxes installed. The footpath continues through the top of the woodland. Again, you can see that this woodland, the trees are all the same age, so again there's little undergrowth. To either side are areas where trees have been cut and habitat paths formed. These areas will be planted with shrubs and wildflowers. The footpath comes out at a stile which leads onto the track which goes down the side of the woodland. You can follow this track along to the bottom where there's footpaths that join it back onto the canal. Along this edge of the woodland are a couple of areas where trees and bushes have been cleared back and the ground planted with shrubs and wildflowers to attract butterflies. On the other side of the motorway from the wood is Huncoat Pit Tops. This is a very good area for butterflies, and one of the reasons we've planted the areas opposite with butterfly friendly plants and hopefully attract the butterflies across to this edge of the woodland. You can now continue down the track or retrace your steps back through the woodlands to Altham Lane. This video has been produced by Hyndburn's Woodland Project, which is managed by the Prospects Foundation in partnership with Lancashire County Council. It is funded through the Heritage Fund and the Windfall Fund. If you would like any more information on the project, please go to the Prospects website at www.prospectsfoundation.org.uk. Thank you.